The church exterminated Priscillianists at the end of the 4th century for having different views on the canon and for practicing the same austerities, which are spiritual practices, as St. Martin. Of this, Farrar wrote, "And for the first time, the axe of the executioner was reddened with the blood of Christians, shed by Christians to avenge a difference of opinion. That bloodshed, like the beginning of sin, was indeed a letting out of water, and the crimson stream was destined in after ages to roll for many a furlong bridle deep." Guinevere uncovered a vast conspiracy. He wrote, "It is a fact that they did derive advantage thus and so persistently that the Greeks have some little foundation for saying, as they do, that the fabrication of documents is the characteristic industry of Rome. And at these inventions, Gregory VII, as well as Nicholas I, with himself be caught, and all other popes throughout the Middle Ages. Nearly every pontificate will add its supplement of false documents to this formidable corpus, whence theologians, St. Thomas Aquinas, among them, will for a long period confidently derive the justification for whatever the Roman pontiffs may desire to do or to say. Much more guilty than the forgers themselves are men such as Baronius, Bellarmine, and different Jesuits who in the 16th century and 17th centuries employed their erudition and their zeal in the face of considerations of fact and good sense, which admit of no reasonable rejoinder, to bolster up a body of arguments for the sake of conclusions drawn from them which they could not consent to abandon." About the time of Gregory VII in particular, this would be 1073 to 1085 AD, the work of forging false documents and their systematic utilization, i.e. the fitting them together into a body of doctrine, reached a magnitude and a degree of openness absolutely stupefying. Towards the year 1440, the monk Gratianus, the first professor of canon law in the University of Bologna, blends together the early forgeries, adds others, and constitutes a corpus which becomes the legal framework of the papal system and of an authority beyond dispute. Do you see why this matters to all the shit you've done with the legal world and stuff and all the guests you've had and how this is all tying back to the ecclesiastical system? Think about this. And this is what a lot of these people don't want to talk, because they always talk about this like sovereign stuff and all this other shit, but they'll never turn the light back onto the church once it comes, because they're all doing it by, well, the Bible says this, and this is why we're, and they're using this for this legal framework that you see making the rounds on all these podcasts, the Patriot mythology, whatever you want to call it. They're all using the Bible as like their flag to fly, and it's written by the priests of these evil systems without exception. And that's how serious this situation is.